count, I would suggest that this is the same setup. You have an incumbent mayor that 3 out of 4 people who voted, and we had 50% vote. That was the other thing I want to talk about if we can. The voter turnout went up. That's a very bad sign for Ms. Tyler.
Is it in her makeup to withdraw?
I don't personally think she's going to withdraw. She looked defiant on election night. She was laying out her argument. Mr. Tarver just laid out many of the same points that you're going to see her. But I think her problem, the more she goes down the road, is her argument is why people didn't vote for her. Her argument is, I've been here for 40 years. Her argument is, I have been working on this problem for 40 years. And I think the reason 3 out of 4 people went for somebody else, not all just Perkins, but somebody else, is they're saying the last 40 years in Shreveport hasn't been good. We need the next 40 years to be good.
The point she had made to me in our conversation on Tuesday night, where the I voted, et cetera, and I told Erin yesterday, she was sitting closer than me and you right now, and she was giving me what I called teacher face. I mean, it was stone cold. To use her words, I have grit, serious. Is that unlike her? And is it something that maybe she would have benefited from doing earlier?
I don't know. I mean, she ran incumbent 101, and so I don't think you can look back and fault her campaign. The problem Ms. Tyler has is, at this point, is her argument. Her argument is her 30 years, her 40 years of public service. There's nothing that she can come out and say and reinvent herself, because we know who she is. She was a teacher. She was a principal. She was our superintendent. She was the state assistant superintendent. She came back and we elected her mayor. We have a body of work that's not going to change. And I think the fundamental setup of this argument now is it's young versus old. It's old guard versus new guard. This is really not as much about Miss Tyler and Mr. Perkins per se as it is about, do you like the way Shreveport has done business the last 30 years? Do you want to change the way Shreveport's doing business the next 30 years? Let's be honest. I mean, Mr. Tarver said some things, and he's exactly correct. In many ways, Mr. Perkins is a blank sheet or an unknown sheet. We don't know a lot about him, and yet he led a primary in a major U.S. city. That should tell you where the voters' mindset is. When Louis Avalon, Republican Party chair, was in here, there was a lot of questions about those polls, but one of the consistent things the polls said was over 65% of people wanted change. That's what you saw Tuesday night.
Political analyst Scott Hughes, more on the way. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright, and Erin McCarty. Traffic time. Ruben time.
Keeping a close eye on some slow-moving traffic on 3132 east and westbound near East Coons Industrial Loop due to a major accident. And police are still diverting traffic to Highway 80 from I-20 eastbound near the Texas state line due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to dot the Arklatex through the day today as temperatures edge up to 58. Showers and thunderstorms continue through the night tonight, low 46. A morning shower tomorrow with some sunshine for the afternoon. Friday's high 57. Saturday, sunny skies, afternoon highs at 51. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Sports Time. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Saints signed Dez Bryant to a one-year deal and could have him on the roster this Sunday in Cincinnati. The former first-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys in 2010 has been a free agent since Dallas released him before the season. He was one of the league's best receivers between 2012 and 2015, making 3 Pro Bowl rosters and earning All-Pro status one time. The enigmatic Bryant wore out his welcome in the Metroplex after a couple of subpar seasons. The NFL week begins tonight with Carolina visiting Pittsburgh. The Panthers have won 5 of their last 6 to stay within a game of the Saints in the NFC South. The Steelers are the leaders in the AFC North. The New Orleans Pelicans snapped a 6-game losing streak with a 108-97 win at home over Chicago. Anthony Davis had 32 points and 15 rebounds in his best game since suffering a sprained elbow 2 weeks ago. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.117 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. And another segment with political analyst Scott Hughes. Okay, let's start here. Perkins 29, Tyler 24 on Tuesday night. The number of, and I said this over and over again, even leading up to the day of the election, the number of traditional, conservative, white, Republican voters who looked at me and said, I'm voting for Perkins. Why do you think that was? A, I think it's true. I know you think it's true. What do you think it was about Perkins that got so many traditional Republican votes in his camp?
Well, I think when you look at Perkins, he became attracted to Republicans for a couple reasons. One, he's highly educated. 2, he has a military service. Those are traditional things. If he were a white candidate, we would be screaming to the roof. Look at his education. Look at his military service. He is new. He's a change. I think that a lot of voters wanted that change. But from the Republican ticket alone, they looked at that and they said, we're not going to do this again. For the last 5 elections, you have to go back to Bo Williams. He was the last Republican mayor that we had. And so they've played this game again. It's like Groundhog Day. Are we going to again elect a Republican candidate? And they were 2 good guys. Jim and Leo were 2 good guys. They ran decent campaigns. But I think people started to look at it and realize they're not going to get there. To come in second, there's no prize for second place in politics. You only win if you can win the second round. And I think what you saw was a shift to Perkins. Momentum picked up. And politics is funny. When people felt he was electable, when they felt he was real, there was real momentum. As I was telling y'all just a second ago, the first boxes I saw that evening was precincts, was 20, 21, 22, 17. Those are Piermont, Broadmoor precincts. And Perkins won those precincts. Not won the black vote, won the precinct.
We asked Jim Talaferro yesterday when we had him on. We said, bluntly speaking, was there one Republican candidate too many? Or would that have mattered?
Well, I think it would have mattered only in the sense of the Republicans could have gotten a candidate in the runoff. I still think they would have had a challenge.
Let me rephrase the question. If you, collectively speaking, if you didn't want Ollie Tyler for a second term, is this the best scenario?
Given the field we had, yes. If you didn't want Ollie Tyler, given the 8 candidates we had, this was the best scenario. In hindsight, the Republicans could have found a very attractive candidate. Republicans in Shreveport are going to have to start to look at what Republican candidate can get crossover vote. You just can't say we're going to run the most conservative guy. That's not going to be necessarily attractive to the entire market. Not saying a Kirk conservative can't win, but you have to have the right package. And then the second part is, and Louisiana is unique. There's places where a Republican might be able to win, but in a sense, if we don't have a primary system, if Louisiana had the primary system, well, then the Republicans could fight on one side, the Democrats could fight on one side, and we'd get to the finals with a candidate. If they'd run one person, this is how Edwin Edwards used to win races back in the day. If one Republican could have got through clean, wouldn't have had any damage, could have just built momentum, then maybe you get to this moment and you think, okay, Tyler or Perkins is here against a Republican. Now maybe you have a chance. Because one thing that will happen in December, it happens all the time, we had 50% turnout for the mayor's election on Tuesday. That will drop. I do not believe we'll have 50% turnout. And in politics, the old axiom is the runoff boxes always get older and whiter. They get conservative because turnout goes down. And so in theory, that does favor a Republican or a conservative candidate. But I don't think it's going to matter in this race to Ms. Tyler and Mr. Perkins. But if a Republican were sitting there, it would make it harder for Ms. Tyler to have won a runoff against a conservative.
Scott Hughes is joining us this morning, political observer, I guess. What are the hurdles that will face a Mayor Perkins? What is he not realizing he's getting himself into in this bureaucracy of running a city?
Well, I think I'll borrow a term, and some might not like it, but I think what he's going to find out is what Donald Trump calls the swamp. To use an analogy that everyone has understood. It's one thing to win, you're euphoric, all these people love you, and you roll into City Hall and you find out that it takes 6 weeks to pass a piece of legislation. That it's got to be put on the ballot and be put on twice. It's going to find out that there is a city council. And really, with the mayor's race topping the agenda, we haven't paid attention to city council. There will now be at least 4 new city council members. With the defeat of Stephanie Lynch, you're guaranteed to have effectively a new council. At least 4 of the 7 have never served on the council. So the learning curve for the council, the learning curve if he's the new mayor, they inherit a new budget. One thing about Shreveport, the budget's adopted right before the mayor and the council come in. So they have a year before they have to do a budget. But if you think you're going to run into office and do all these things, you're going to run into office and find out you have probably less than $10 million cash reserve. You have a budget that's in the red right now. It's not balanced. They're going to use, and that's a term people will fight, but they're going to use reserve funds to balance the budget. And then he said it in your interview yesterday. He needs to get better at the governance process. I don't think he understands how laws and how rules are made and how you work with another body, a legislative body called a city council, to get something done.
Scott Hughes, political analyst. A pleasure as always. Great stuff. Thank you, sir. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 29 past 8 o'clock. Erin, local news is up next. Here's Ruben.
Keeping a close eye on some slow-moving traffic on 3132 east and westbound near Eastburg Coons Industrial Loop due to a major accident. And police are still diverting traffic to Highway 80 from I-20 eastbound near the Texas state line due to a major accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to dot the Arklatex through the day today as temperatures edge up to 58. Showers and thunderstorms continue through the night tonight, low 46. A morning shower tomorrow with some sunshine for the afternoon. Friday's high 57. Saturday, sunny skies, afternoon highs at 51. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
power of information. KEEL News now.
12 people, including a sheriff's sergeant, responded to 911 calls, were killed by a gunman at a Southern California bar. Authorities say the first reports of shots fired came in around 11:20 p.m. California time at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks.
Upon going through the front door, the sheriff's sergeant was struck multiple times with gunfire. The high patrol officer stepped back and secured the perimeter until additional units arrived, and he rescued the sheriff's sergeant out of the line of gunfire.
That's Ventura County Sheriff Jeff Dean. An estimated 10 to 15 others were also wounded. The State Office of Motor Vehicles suffered a statewide outage. According to a spokesperson, the computer system needed for the department to operate crashed. Tech crews worked feverishly to restore service. By late in the day, most operations were functional. The minimum wage going up in Arkansas. Matt Parker has that.
Starting in January, minimum wage in Arkansas will go up to $9.25 an hour. Voters approved the hike during Tuesday's election. By 2021, minimum wage will be $11 an hour. Economic experts say the raise may negatively affect some industries and workers, but overall will help the state attract better qualified workers and put more money into the state's economy. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Jimmy Earl Hall, the man accused of gunning down Louis Drew Reno in the parking garage of Horseshoe Casino, has died. Hall allegedly shot and killed Reno after work, then turned the gun on himself. Hall was going to be charged with second-degree murder upon his release from the hospital. Robert Bowers, an Alabama fan, has died after a bar fight following the Crimson Tide's win over LSU Saturday night. He was at a bar in Tangipahoa Parish watching the game when two men attacked him. Americans are still willing to go into debt, but not as much. We get more on that from Jill Nato.
Consumer borrowing for September was up in the U.S. by nearly $11 billion. But that's not even half as much of an increase in borrowing as we saw in August, when the Federal Reserve says it was up nearly $23 billion. The number's throwing off economists who thought we'd be taking on about $16.5 billion more worth of debt for September. All this borrowing comes as we continue to see a strengthening economy, with a gross domestic product at a healthy 3.5% for the July to September timeframe. Jill Nato, Fox News.
Voters in 47 of 64 parishes have decided online fantasy sports games should be legal. This opens the door for FanDuel and DraftKings to operate in select areas. River Ridge Representative Kirk Talbot talks about the next steps.
I'll file legislation in the spring to do the regulatory side of it and the taxing side of it.
In our area, all parishes approved the fantasy sports betting except Sabine Parish. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. That Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. Joining us for a little bit is Shreveport businessman and now former mayoral candidate Leo Savage. Hey, Mr. Leo, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing this morning?
I am phenomenal. How are you?
You know, we were talking the other evening, and as I was interviewing you, it was before the results started to come in. And we were talking a little bit about the campaign, this, that, or the other. And the one thing what popped into my head that I did not mention to you was, through the course of the campaign, as as much hard work and time and effort as it was, you seemed all along to be having the time of your life. I'm not wrong, am I?
No, you're not. I really enjoyed the whole process. It was absolutely probably the hardest I have ever worked in my life, having a full-time job, and that ended up being a full-time job, getting home about 10:30 every night. I met some incredible, very influential individuals that can help me throughout my life, and I think can help me through a lot of the processes in which I feel that we uncovered a lot of the issues going wrong with Shreveport right now, and I think that we can continue on the path to help remedy those situations.
For all of that effort and time and sweat equity that you put into that campaign, what do you take away from that? How does that make you better? Can you explain that a little bit to us?
Oh, sure. I really feel that the whole process, again, it was an education. It was very enlightening. It also, I've learned some things I never knew before, especially with some of the bad things I found out. But I really think that it made me a better person just because of the process.
Pardon me, do you come away?
Process, it was everything.
Do you come away from this? You said I found a lot of bad things, but do you come away from this more encouraged or discouraged?
Well, both. Can I say that?
Sure.
I've always been very straightforward with my answers. So I hate to say both, but I feel encouraged to the fact of I met so many people who were as adamant about moving the city forward as I am. And when I say that, I mean I met some of the people who have already won the council seats, school board seats, some of them who are in the runoff right now, who I greatly admire. I got to meet every one of the candidates that, we sat in on these forums, and so many times we had good conversations. I had the opportunity to have lunch with several of them throughout this time. I got to know some of them better. That Jim I had already known, and got to know him a little bit better. On the downside of it, the underworkings inside the city, I always suspected there was corruption, but what we actually uncovered was so much deeper than what I ever thought. And I also learned that what some people really see as corruption, they think that, I'll give you this contract if you'll give me a car, and that's corruption. But what they really don't understand is that we're paying for the car.
Okay,
they up that contract. So.
Leo Savage, let me ask you this. You've got a constituency now. You've got a base. What are you advising those folks to do now? What are you going to do now? Who's your guy in the race?
Well, I will tell you that I have made it very clear that I don't have anybody that I am endorsing currently. However, I'm meeting with Adrian today. He called me yesterday, and we spoke for a while and text back and forth. And again, we are meeting today. And he asked me. He said, what part of your platform do you want me to take? And I said, all of it.
So what are you looking to hear today? Okay, you're gonna talk to Adrian today. What do you want to hear? What are you looking for?
Well, there's things that I had always had little suspicious feelings of with Adrian, and I need those clarified. And
like what? Like what? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, you're going Greg Tarver on me here?
I don't mind, because I will tell Adrian the same thing, when we sit and talk. I mean, Adrian has a lot of money behind him, and I don't want him to I cannot endorse somebody who's going to be a puppet. Not that I think he's going to be a puppet. I need to see it and hear it from his mouth and to understand what Adrian feels. And he's got to convince me that he's going to think on his own, and he's going to surround himself with people who who are going to help him, not control him.
That's
what I'm looking for.
Would it be fair to assume on my part that the fact that you challenged Mayor Tyler to begin with leads me to believe that you might be leaning more toward Adrian just because of your initial running against Ollie? Is that wrong? Am I off base here?
You're not off base. I mean, it's very clear that, and I never really attacked Mayor Tyler, but I did attack what was going on with, during her administration, and the things that I felt that she neglected. I think that she overlooked. I think that she was living in a pipe dream of thinking that the city was doing better. And, but if I sat down with her and she could convince me that the things that we have identified, this is what she's going to do to correct them, it's possible I could endorse her, but both of them have got to truly convince me that 100%, without doubt, that person is best for the city.
So you will meet with her if she calls you? You haven't heard from her, though?
I have not. She did not call me, although I spoke with a couple of people yesterday, and they had alluded to the fact that she would be reaching out to me. But, and when she does, we'll set up an appointment just like Adrian and I have, and we'll sit down and talk. Our city is in trouble, and it's the reason I ran. I mean, I don't think you would see that many people, 10 initially, that were going to run for mayor. I don't think you would see that many people running if everything was going right.
Could you do it again in 4 years, Leo?
Or is politics in your rear view mirror?
That's a great question, both. I will tell you that in 4 years, would I look to do this again? I don't honestly think so. It's not totally out of the realm of a possibility. I won't say that. It kind of depends on what's going on in the future. Right now I've got to look at everything, and I know that I started out, and Robert, we talked a little bit about this the other night. I was a virtual unknown in the political arena, and I don't want to be a politician. That's just not me. I just wanted to cure the ills, but I don't. If there's something that I could do within our city that would still positively impact it, I would do it.
Leo Savage, thank you so much for your time.
Great stuff, Mr. Leo. A pleasure as always. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. You have a great day.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Ruben's ready.
Still keeping a close eye on that major accident on I-20 westbound between Benton Road and Airline Drive. And we have reports of a minor accident on 3132 eastbound near Ellerby Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to dot the Arklatex through the day today as temperatures edge up to 58. Showers and thunderstorms continue through the night tonight, low 46. A morning shower tomorrow with some sunshine for the afternoon. Friday's high 57. Saturday, sunny skies. Afternoon highs at 51. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, it's 840. Yes, ma'am.
Let me just say real quick, because he may be listening, happy birthday to my oldest son.
Yeah.
25 today. He's a quarter of a century.
Yeah, halfway to 50.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Golly, bones are probably aging.
It's not one of my favorite movies, but it is, interestingly enough, one of my favorite acting performances. And it's Billy Bob Thornton as Davy Crockett in The Alamo.
Haven't seen it yet.
It's one of those movies that's almost a great movie, but it's also one of those movies that, in not being a great movie and it's this far away, it kind of sucked.
Oh.
But you know what I'm talking about? There
Sure.
are so many like that.
Sure.
But Billy Bob Thornton as Davy Crockett is astonishing simply because he plays Davy Crockett as a cynic or cynical of his own image and his own reputation. And he knows he's not the guy. I mean, his legend is already well formed. And born on a mountaintop, you know, that whole Davy Crockett...
coonskin cap and all that, yeah.
Legendary hero, iconic guy. And he knows he's not. And he goes through the movie knowing he's not and taking such a wry sense of, it's almost entertaining as he watches this image, this legend of himself grows. And the awesome thing about that is when he gets to the Alamo and as he realizes this is it, I'm done for, we're done for.
Yep.
He becomes, by the end of the movie, the man that he, all along, doesn't think he is. Now, I told you that to tell you this. I've got about a minute. At the end of the movie, when he's captured by the Mexican army and about to be executed, and he knows they're standing over him with bayonets, and he knows he is going to be bayoneted to death within moments. And one of the Mexican officers who speaks English says to him, Crockett, basically, do you have any last words? And he looks around, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of Mexican soldiers. And he looks around and he sees the bodies of his dead comrades and he's about to die. And in the movie, his last words literally are, tell General Santa Anna I accept his surrender. That's what Ollie Tyler needs to do. She needs to come out tomorrow and she needs to say, tell Adrian Perkins I accept his concession and I'm ready for my second term.
Oh, boy.
Think that'd work?
Not going to work.
Not that good an analogy.
Not going to work, no.
849, 1017 FM, 710. Give me the stager, we'll do weather. Weather Channel forecast cloudy and rainy and cold today. Well, cold, like maybe middle 50s. Right now, 52 at Keel. Your Money Now brought to us by Barksdale Federal Credit Union.
You're listening to American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
A lot of people across Louisiana were upset yesterday when they didn't get their I voted sticker, especially the ones with the George Rodrigue blue dog on them. Many clerks of court say it's because the Secretary of State didn't give them the stickers. The Secretary of State's office says it's because the clerks of court didn't order them.
You know, some legal experts say that giving out those stickers violates federal law because U.S. code prohibits giving anything of value to someone to encourage them to vote or to withhold their vote. But come on, these cost less than a penny, and it's just a nice reminder. It's a way of saying, yay, you got out and voted.
For all you who did go vote and didn't get a sticker, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
Demon Barber of Fleet Street, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. This, every day this week the show's gotten better.
It's been a good week.
It's been an awesome week.
Mm-hmm.
So what did we learn today? Well, Greg Tarver probably won't be endorsing Adrian Perkins.
Didn't sound like it, did it?
No. He texted you after the interview. Is something
No, he left me a voicemail.
yeah, that's right. Is it something you can tell us about, or is it sort of a...
Yeah, he said I need to call the Registrar of Voters office and find out how many ballots they send to Afghanistan for every election.
Yeah.
He said he'll tell you the truth. They send them all the time.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he vote while he was there?
Look, I said this.
And the other question we didn't ask Adrian was, why didn't you vote while you were at Harvard? Why didn't you vote while you were at West Point?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him that next time.
Yeah.
What kept you from voting while you were at Harvard?
Well, let me take the other.
You know that your life's not on the line while you're at Harvard.
Let me take the other tack then.
Mm-hmm.
He was class president at Captain Shreve. He graduated West Point. He was class president at West Point.
Mm-hmm.
He did 3 combat tours in the Army. He graduated Harvard Law School.
I'm with you.
How big a wiener can this guy be? So, speaking of wieners,
yeah,
I just don't feel very good about this Des Bryant signing with the Saints.
Why not?
Because he's Des Bryant. Because he's every pain in the ass you ever. He's look. What's the radio saying? And you can clean it up about money versus
poop to dollars ratio.
The poop to dollars ratio, and it goes back to our old friend Jerry Frentress.
Yeah.
What did I say yesterday? Oh, sheep. Remember I said the Democrats are going to a sheep show.
Yeah.
So it's the sheep to dollars ratio. There was a point in his career where Des Bryant, the sheep to dollars ratio, made him worth it.
Right.
He's
now
not
there's too many sheep.
There's not a. He's just not that. He's not the player he was.
No, he's not.
You know, by and large, the greatest wide receivers are, in fact, the ballerinas of the industry. They are the prima donnas. They are the high-maintenance guys. You waved your hand a little bit. You still think he's... Look, the Saints need a solid receiver, specifically possession receiver. Is he that guy?
I think he could be very solid. The difference between the Cowboys when he left and the Saints he's going into...
You think he's got a dose of reality?
Oh, well, no. I just think that there's a world of difference between Dak Prescott trying to get you the ball and Drew Brees. My only worry is you have a young wide receiver and Michael Thomas. He's coming up on a new contract. I don't want Des Bryant poison that kid.
No, that's the truth. That's what I worry about.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 to 9. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Here's Kim Commando.
Do you think kids today spend too much time in front of TVs and tablets and phones? Well, hold on. The world's first baby crib with a built-in iPad is here. Kim Commando with your Thursday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by Boll & Branch. My absolute favorite sheets. Visit bollandbranch.com, promo code KIM. I still remember those long nights when my newborn son just wouldn't go to sleep. Dad Gary Taylor saw this as an opportunity. When his 9-month-old daughter was up most of the night, he'd put his phone in the baby's crib running a white noise app. So he got to thinking, why not invent a crib that has an iPad built into the headboard? The baby can watch a video or listen to music. Mom and Dad can sleep. Now his company sells this iPad-loaded crib for about $2,000. All right, research has proven that screens and sleep don't go together. Kids need to build an attachment to Mom and Dad, not a Peppa Pig video. We need a crib with a built-in parent. I'm Kim Commando. Here's why I'm a big fan of SimpliSafe Home Security. SimpliSafe systems are ready for anything that gets thrown at it. If a storm takes out your power, SimpliSafe is ready. If an intruder cuts your phone line, SimpliSafe is ready. Say an intruder destroys your keypad or siren, SimpliSafe will still call the authorities and get you the help that you need. This system has safeguards to protect you against power outages, downed Wi-Fi, cut landlines, bats, hammers, and everything in between. Now, SimpliSafe's triple safeguard protection could cost an arm and a leg, but it doesn't. Instead, they only charge you what's fair. So 24/7 professional security monitoring is just $14.99 a month. And with SimpliSafe, there are no contracts and no hidden fees. That's why I recommend SimpliSafe to everyone. Go right now to simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com to protect your home and family today. simplysafekim.com.
Still keeping a close eye on that major accident on I-20 westbound between Benton Road and Airline Drive. And we have reports of a minor accident on 3132 eastbound near Ellerby Road. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to dot the Arklatex through the day today as temperatures edge up to 58. Showers and thunderstorms continue through the night tonight, low 46. A morning shower tomorrow with some sunshine for the afternoon. Friday's high 57. Saturday, sunny skies. Afternoon highs at 51. Richard Wedding at the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. KEEL.